Hi everyone, Anthony Fantano here, the internet's busiest music nerd, fighting the internal screams of pain and torture that I keep bottled up every day. I hope you're doing well because I need you well in order to complete a thought experiment that I want you to do for this video. Can you use your brain and dig far back deep into your memory banks? One could say maybe even, could you randomly access your memory and think back to how you felt when you found out that in 2021 Daft Punk broke up? Man, when randomly accessing my memory to think back to that, I get no memories because I feel like I've barely been able to even process this. For a duo that is effectively broken up, Daft Punk sure don't know how the hell to go away. Literally, Daft Punk have turned more headlines since parting than they did like between the Random Access Memories and their previous record. Ever since Tomas and Guy have essentially called it quits, they're constantly like, hey, remember our last album? 10th anniversary of that. You might want to stream it again. Oh, hey, here's like some other anniversary editions of our other stuff from the past. That's cool, isn't it? Are you excited about that? That's cool. Oh, hey, remember our last album? Now we're going to give you that again, but with no drums. Not to be overly dismissive or anything like that, but I can't really see this latest attempt from Daft Punk to gather attention to stuff they've already released as anything more than like a crass cash grab, which again, I've already made clear is a version of Random Access Memories with no drums on it. And that's it. It's literally the same album, no drums. Why are they doing this? Now, look, there will be some Daft Punk fanboys who will say stuff like, hey, Anthony, it's like for the culture and for the DJs and for the heads and for the cool creative types who maybe might want to like, remix the album and stuff. But like, if that's the case and that's what the robots ultimately care about, why don't they put out stems? Because there aren't enough DJs and remixers and so on and so forth in the world to make it worth putting this out on streaming. And again, if that's really what this all was about, there are better ways to get this material to that community of people other than just releasing the same album over again with no drums. Furthermore, when you look at the actual press material for this record, it's clear that PR-wise, they want to spin this project with the angle of like, hey, this is actually for listening to and enjoying by itself, and removing the drums actually allows fans to like, really dig into the intricacies of the record and understand its magical beauty that they wouldn't be able to conceive of or fully grasp with the drums in the way. Which like makes absolutely no sense whatsoever, because it's not like the drums were overpowering or even the loudest element in many mixes of these tracks. Like, for sure, there are lots of Daft Punk songs in their past catalog where the kicks are just thumping and going crazy. It's a house record. But Random Access Memories is not a house album. It's like a combination of pop and soul and disco and prog and synthesizer music. The drums are pretty well and evenly balanced with the, greater palette of instrumentation on all the songs. There are even some tracks where you could advocate, yeah, the drums actually could have gone maybe a little bit harder. So it's not like the drums were ever this thing on Random Access Memories that were just like blocking, man, that I can't see, I can't hear what's going on. The drums are just taking everything over. The listening experience of this album, it's so opaque, the drums are just in the way. So it's not like removing the drums really allows for you to dig into anything musically or instrumentally any deeper. And frankly, there are numerous tracks on this thing that honestly suck or just like don't make any fucking sense without the drums. Be that some of the catchier and groovier cuts, such as Give Life Back to Music, or the building actions during, the Little Synth Odyssey on Giorgio by Moroder, and, most importantly, Contact, the final leg of which, if you guys remember, is this really intense and distorted wall of synthesizers and noise, where the drums are really propulsive on this track and just kind of make the whole thing feel feel like, you know, you're on a rocket launching into space. It's kind of crazy. But with the drums not being there, it just kind of sounds like an experimental noise piece that you could hear on any given weekend in a sweaty basement in Rhode Island at some local noise show. Yeah, that unfortunately is what Contact is reduced to without the drums, which again, if I didn't make this clear, it doesn't really sound all that great without the percussion there. There is nothing here that I want to hear without the percussion. So the press material's insistence that this album somehow sounds more interesting or is like really kind of giving you a new perspective or something on this album without the percussion there, it's unfounded and silly. I mean, without that backbone of percussion steadily pulsating along on Doing It Right, for example, the whole track just sounds like a vocal demo or something. And again, is not really offering anything that the original version doesn't. This is not a less is more situation. It's a less is less situation. And again, I'm sorry if this video comes off as like, you know, super dismissive or anything like that, but I just don't see the point of this. This is the sort of thing that I would be interested to hear or would most likely seek out if I saw like, you know, some fan had done it by just kind of like, you know, using some filter technology or whatever and was like, hey, you know, check how the vocals sound by themselves on this thing. Isn't that cool? Yeah, sure. That's kind of like a neat and interesting thing that I might try or check out just to kind of see what's up. But like, it's not worth an entire album release and press rollout and dramatic to do in the way that we're seeing here. And honestly, like, where do you draw the line with this crap? Like, why not release a version where it's just drums or everything else but no synths, or just the drums and the bass parts? Why not that? That certainly would make me listen to parts of it differently, I guess. Yeah, this whole thing unfortunately just seems like a bald-faced attempt at just squeezing a bit more cash out of the duo's legacy. How much of this is Daft Punk's as opposed to Columbia's doing, I don't really know, but it's still disappointing either way and preposterous. And frankly, I hope we don't hear from Daft Punk for a long time after this point. Or if you want to be in our faces all the time and be putting out stuff and different versions of things, don't be broken up. Come back and do some more and release some more stuff. Because for sure, I think there was more gas left in the Daft Punk tank, but I guess who the hell am I? Other than just an opinionated music man. But you know what? If the music industry didn't think there was something more to Daft Punk and what they do and their legacy and the potential of their music, I don't think they would be releasing drumless versions of the same goddamn songs that we've had out and about for 10 plus years now. Yeah, those are my thoughts on that. Shout out to Anthony Fantano Rant
Drumless
edition. And yeah, that's going to be it. You're the best. Over here next to my head is another video you can check out. Hit that up or the link to subscribe to the channel. Anthony Fantano, Daft Punk, drums forever.